So yesterday, I'm doing my Walgreens shit, right? And this sketchy looking guy comes in and he starts wandering around the place collecting shit. Like right away, one of my coworkers comes up to me and says, "Hey, I'm pretty sure that's a dude that's been in here last week. This guy got kicked out for walking around and not buying anything. He like picked up a bunch of stuff. It got really close to closing time." And the guy was just not buying anything. He was not going up the checkout stand or anything. So the manager came in and told that guy, "You gotta go. You've been walking around here for an hour. You've got like $200 worth of stuff in your basket, and you're not buying anything. So you gotta get out of here. We gotta close up shop." So he leaves. But this guy comes back yesterday, and my coworker is telling me about this. He's like, "Listen, we gotta keep an eye on this guy. Keep an eye on him and see what he's doing." So that's what we do. That's what I do. I'm left to keep an eye on this guy, right? And I'm like, fuck, I don't want to get stabbed by some crazy crackhead, right? Thankfully, all I have to do is watch. So for the next, like, within 5 minutes of being told to watch this guy, I see him start taking some shit and putting it in his pocket. He's got a basket, so there's no reason for him to put shit in his pockets. He's got a fucking basket on his arm. He just could put this shit in the basket. He puts it in his pockets. And right away, I'm like, okay, that's not normal behavior. That's definitely behavior of someone planning something. So I go back to my coworker, and I'm like, yeah, I just saw him shove some shit in his pocket. And my coworker's, yeah, I thought so. We go get the manager. Now, we have an assistant manager who was there yesterday. Assistant manager comes out, and she's like, this guy, we're going to let this guy walk around for a little bit. Because this guy looks like he's really going at it. And he does. He spends like an hour and a half, again, like he did last week, an hour and a half just casing the joint, grabbing things, pocketing some things, putting things back where they don't belong, going to the bathroom for minutes at a time, really just flat out trying to do his best to shove as much as he can into his pockets. You know what I mean? But our assistant manager is like, we're going to let this play out for a little bit. And then I'm going to call the cops. And that's exactly what she did. She let it play out for that long and then called the cops. And the cops show up at the store. This is the amazing part. Because a lot of times you call for loss prevention shit, cops don't really show up. Especially down in the Seattle area. Seattle area, there's just not enough cops for all the weird shit that goes on in Seattle. And a lot of my coworkers actually come from other areas of the state, right, where that's kind of typically a problem. There's just not enough cops to take care of all the problems going down. But in this area, in this Everett area, down on the southern front, apparently we don't have that much of a problem, because these cops showed up within like 5 or 10 minutes of her calling them. And they just sat right outside the doors. And just sat there for like maybe another 10 to 15 minutes while this guy continued to do his shit and running around the store. At this point, the guy has been doing this for an hour and a half. I have actually talked to the guy, not about the stuff, but just common, customer courtesy, can I help you find shit type of stuff. My store assistant manager was clearly following him, very clearly tailing the guy. We even signaled like this security walk the floor thing to make them think we actually have security. We don't. But we do have an assistant manager at least walking around with him. And then my third coworker has also been following the guy for the last hour and a half. Three of us are following this fucking guy all around the store. Plain as day that we are fucking stalking this guy and that we know something is up, right? He has so many opportunities to know that some shit is going down. He doesn't stop. He pockets some more shit. And then he goes up to the checkout stand where I am cashiering. And he tries to check out with me. I get maybe... He's got $200 worth of shit in the basket, right? And a lot of that is just like random shit. Some Pokemon cards. Like, it was just some random ass shit. And so this guy starts giving me this life story bullshit about he's got kids and one of them wants to be a ballerina. And I'm just like, this dude is off his fucking rocker and he's about to get busted by the cops. This is an episode of Cops, is what I'm trying to say. This is an episode of Cops in the Everett. Is in the makings. Is in the fucking makings. And he's got all these Pokemon cards. He's got like 20 fucking booster pack Pokemon cards that cost like $7 a pop. And this guy is like, it was fucking hilarious because he was buying like the shaving equipment kit and shit. And this shit is like $60, $40, $70. And then finally, I get to his ridiculously large stack of Pokemon cards. And I ring up one of the Pokemon cards and he goes, whoa, that thing's $8? And I'm like, yeah, this is $8. And he's like, man, I don't have enough money for that. I don't have enough money for all these fucking Pokemon cards. You gotta take that out. So he asked me to take it out of the cart, right? And I'm like, you fucking, damn, man, you got almost $100 here of like shaving combs, of fucking shavers, electric shavers. You got it looks like some sort of a weird iron curling thing in there or some shit. I don't even know what half that shit was. It's my store. I don't even know what the fuck we're selling at it. And this guy is like, yo, hold up. That Pokemon card is $7. I ain't paying for that. You know, and he's got like a sack of 20 of these fucking things. He's like, don't take them out. Take them out. I don't want to pay for them. I'm like, wow. The Pokemon cards. The Pokemon cards caused this man to stop. So he stops, says, take out the Pokemon cards. And while I'm taking those cards out, he goes, you know what? I'm not going to have enough money. Let me go get the rest of my money from my car. And I'm like, oh, shit. I'm looking out the window. And I see a cop. With the biggest fucking smirk on his face. He is shooting me like a goddamn mental text message. He's like, this guy's about to get fucking tackled. John Madden's gonna want to be here to see this. He's gonna get blown off his feet. Like, this cop was just looking at me through the front panel window right off to the side, just enough so the guy couldn't see him, but I could fucking see the cop. And I'm giving him the eye. I'm just like, yeah, you know, I'm giving him that eye. He knows from my brain text that this shit's about to go down. And the guy immediately turns tail, goes to the front of the store, and as soon as he leaves the glass doors there, the fucking sound alarm goes off. The guy did not even remove shit from the packages before he shoved them, wherever the fuck he shoved them, into his body parts. I hope it wasn't his body parts. But probably in his pants or some shit. The guy didn't even take shit out of the package. He was fucking just like, Pokemon cards? Too expensive. I'm out of here. And he leaves. Sends off the security alarm. Both cops just converge right on the guy. And I can't see what's going on at that point because there's like some pillars and shit in the way, right? But not even a minute after that, the dude is handcuffed and 3 of the tallest football player height type of cops I've ever seen in my life. These guys are tall as fuck. Michael Jordan couldn't slam up dunk on these guys. These were tall men that just walk into the store with this guy handcuffed. This guy is like my size, right? He's like 5'10". I'm 5'10". This guy is probably 5'10". And these dudes are towering well over 6 feet. And they are just dragging this guy in a forced march in handcuffs back into the store, kind of off into the middle and to the side section here, just somewhere where they can kind of work him over without getting in the way of anybody else. It's a quiet store. We really don't get a lot of people in there. So they kind of can just, the cops have a lot of room to work their magic. But oh my god, this guy, in addition to having over $200 worth of shit in his basket that I had to fucking put away, right? That's extra work for me. He had over $87 worth of shit in his pants and jacket. He was shoving shit down his pockets and down his pants, and the poor cops had to frisk this guy's balls to get loose all those fucking expensive ass Pokemon cards. I'm telling you, he stole $87 worth of stuff. Over $87 worth of stuff. It was insane. This guy had to be on some kind of drugs because He had 3 fucking people following him for an hour and a half. We were blatantly following him at least for an hour. He knew we were on his fucking ass. At least for an hour's worth of following him around the store. It was so blatant. He was never alone. We were all babysitting this guy. How did he not get the clue? And there's a theory that there was a second guy involved who was actually looking out for the cops, which must not have been doing his job very well, because the cops really nailed this guy. I don't even know where the second guy came into effect. The second guy, like, came in. I saw him. He came in, like, wanted to buy something and then left, saying that he didn't have the money for it. The second guy, right? Like, it was the same, but the guy only came in for a minute and then left. I wasn't sure if there was a connection, but one of my coworkers swear that there was a connection, that had to be a buddy of the guy who was being busted. That guy was, like, sitting on a corner out there trying to look out for cops, and that guy bolted. So not only does this guy, who is fucking totally locked up right now, right? He got handcuffed and shit. Not only is this guy getting handcuffed and shit, he had a buddy who was supposed to look out for the cops, and his buddy was like, nah, man, I'm fucking gone. So his buddy left him in the dust. Either that or this guy was so stupid he didn't even listen to his buddy, who might have been telling him, hey, man, there are fucking cops outside, you should probably not steal shit. Maybe he was coming for another guy who was stealing more shit. Maybe it could have been a fucking inception of stealing. I don't know, it could have been a racket, a thieving ring of trying to thieve Walgreens. I'd have fucking no idea. But I could not believe this shit. And it is just... This place is so fucking ghetto.